In this video, I am going to be showing you guys my 7-foot shot creating rim protector. I call this build a KD build. Y'all can see I haven't got a KD face scan going on. Shout out to the YouTube. I forgot what YouTube video it was, but there was a face scan KD video and it looks pretty good for KD. I ain't gonna cap, okay? But this is what the build is gonna be looking like right now, okay? I'm gonna show you all the attributes, not the attributes. I'm gonna show you guys my animations very quickly. Now again, when it comes to my jump shot, I've talked about it in the past. I do use Jonathan Isaac, but I changed my release a lot throughout the year. But I do think Jonathan Isaac is arguably the best release for bigs this year alongside David Robinson, but I prefer Jonathan Isaac. But here are my animations I'm using. My pass style, obviously my passing can actually go up to an 80 on this build, which is great news. But I'm gonna show you guys, not my dunk style, no one really cares about that, but this is the current animation, my current jump shot I'm using on this build. But again, I change it every single time, okay? I've used, you know, certain ones with A+ and everything else, but that's not why we're here, okay? That's not why we're here, because this build is a mid-range fading demon anyway. Yeah, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you guys, you know, why this is my favorite build of all the builds I have made. I'm gonna show you guys all the builds I have made, how I got to this build. It wasn't just, oh, I just went into the build and I made this build. I made a couple of other builds, I made a couple of mistakes, and your boy ended up learning. Listen, when it comes to 611 plus builds on 2K, 611 plus, no one makes more better unique builds than me, bro. Unique builds that aren't meta but very effective. That's what I'm all about. But anyways, no more talking. Let's go for some of the builds I tried to make in the past. Y'all can make some of these builds, by the way. They are pretty fire. And I'm going to show you guys exactly how I came up to this particular one right here. As y'all can see, okay, the thinking behind this build was I wanted to make an offensive, crazy build. Y'all can see I sacrificed block for a lot of this build. Y'all can see, y'all can pause some of these builds, y'all can check them out, okay? They are pretty damn good, okay? Y'all can see how crazy some of these builds are. I haven't made a 6'9". This 6'9" was probably the closest one I was gonna make. It was between the 6'9" and the current build I ended up making. And obviously I ended up going to the 6'11" one that actually had block, but it didn't quite work out for me. And then I actually settled for this 6'11" build. Y'all can see this one was just pure toxic, okay? I got 96 strength on this build, and I actually ended up making this build with 92 standing dunk. I'm gonna show you some of the highlights of this build. Right, this build screens are ridiculous, okay? Having a 96 strength on a build is absolutely wild. You already know, like, this build was going crazy. But the only thing about this build was, yes, offensively it was wild, it was crazy. You can see this build, like, literally no one could guard this build. Centers were struggling. Like, I was so strong on this build, but for some weird reason, like, bro, it was burning. Like, my stamina was, I was burning stamina like crazy. And I was like, and I obviously not having block was starting to annoy me a little bit because I couldn't block anyone. But you can see this build is mad. Like, I was like, nah, this build is too crazy. I wish my stamina just wasn't draining too bad. Like, I was just moving bodies and just dunking on people in the paint. But I ended up, you know, I was like, let me switch it up. So I ended up, you know, going back into the lab. Okay, I'm gonna show you exactly what my current build's looking like, and then take you out to the builder. So very quickly before we head to the build, not to the builder, before we head to the highlights, because this build highlights, oh my goodness, they are ridiculous. Okay, this is one of the most ridiculous builds I have made. Now y'all can see I tried to make the builds earlier. You know, I tried to go no block on the 6'11". I was just like, the game was putting me at power forward sometimes, and there was so many opportunities I had to just absolutely send those weak layups back to where they came from, but I couldn't. So I went back into the build, like I said, sacrifice a couple of things, and this is what my current build is looking like. Okay, this is my favorite build at the moment, hands down, without a doubt. Okay, this build has everything that I personally look for in a build. Okay, when it comes to the blocking, the playmaking, the shooting, the finishing, I love everything about this build, including the speed and the attributes of it, like the physicals. Love it. But anyways, that is what the build's currently looking like. Okay, let us go to watch some of these crazy clips this build has. Then don't worry, I'm gonna take you out to the builder. Okay, we're gonna just discuss a little bit more detail how I end up making this build, because this build is wild. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. Let's check these rec clips out, and you guys are gonna see how wild this build was going. This build is absolutely just dominating every single position at that power forward. It's going nuts. Now, when it comes to two-way builds, okay, it doesn't come any better than this build. I am telling you, bro, this build is sending everything back. Now, not only is it a defensive demon, offensively, you can see I am going crazy. Okay, this is like the first day I made the build. I forgot to even equip my kits. I was just out here rocking my 2K generics, but you can see we upgraded this look now. You can see the rebounding. It is crazy. Like, this build can do everything. Like, literally for a 7-footer anyway. Like, you can do pretty much everything you want a 7-foot build can do. You can see I'm just drop stepping people in the paint. I'm telling you, bro. I played all kinds of 6'8". I played 6'8" with 96 strength. I play 6'8" with all defensive stats. I have a 6'8" myself. I know how OP the 6'8". Well, oh my god, look at those blocks. I cooked them, bro. There's so many different ways of scoring on this build. Like, oh my god, the defense is just absolutely wild. Like, it's one of the biggest things that stood out on this build. I know people are gonna be like, Fear, you told us not to make, gold anchor. I'm telling you, on this build, the gold anchor works. Okay, normally I always say silver is good enough, but on this build, I had to go to get a gold anchor, and I'm gonna describe that in a bit more detail once we go to the build up. Y'all can see, bro, we can shoot on this build. Y'all can see, look how I'm worming guys, grabbing rebounds, passing them back out to my teammates. Hey, listen. Dominating the solo rec is crazy, bro. The blocking on this build, you need to understand, I am not a center, okay? So not only is this build crazy offensively, I've got crazy block alongside my center, so my center can block you, and so can I. Like I said, this build also has playmaking. You all can see the playmaking on the 7-footer allows me to set up a lot of my mid-range shots, which is very, very key. This guy was playing me way too close, okay? We're hitting the shots, okay? When 2K is allowing me to. You guys already know what the shooting is at. I'm telling you, bro, the block is wild, bro. You're not gonna come out here with some weak stuff. Like, I'm gonna block that stuff. You're right here, no layup timing, no layup. This build has low layup, and we're still making the layups anyway. Again, this is one of my favorite part about this build, just taking you straight into the mid. Like, oh my god, look at him. He jumped to red contest. It don't matter to end the quarter, bro. We are going crazy. You already know what time it is, bro. As soon as I go into this mid-range, yeah, hit him with the dream shake stun. Yeah, it's a cook time, bro. It is cook time on this build, okay? There's so many different weapons. This guy thought he had it, bro. Guys be coming out here telling me, oh, layup is OP in this game. Layup is only OP if you do floaters, bro. If you try to do some weak, stylish layup on this, but I'm sending that stuff back to where it came from. Like, this build is wild. Like, people be jumping for no reason. Y'all can see this guy jumping, bro. I took him way into the post. Look at that. He jumped and I just dunked on him. Look how many different ways I can score in this build. It's crazy. Look, I even caught the alley-oop, and you probably thought I was done again. I'm telling you, this is a two-way demon. I'm all about making two-way builds. Okay, we're not satisfied just making an offensive juggernaut. Look at that. Just send that stuff back, bro. It is no joke. I'm telling you, you cannot come up with some weak stuff in the paint, bro. This build will absolutely send everything back. Oh my god, it is so fun. Look at his playmaking attributes, but look at it. Look at all these moves, just hitting with so many different, like, you never know what I'm gonna do. Like, there's so many different ways for me to set up my move. You see people flopping. I love the the triple threat jab step into the midi. I'm telling you, bro, this is a 7-foot build. You don't see a lot of 7-footers being this aggressive on a build. Y'all can see my teammates threw a bad pass right there. You thought I was gonna give up on it. I'm telling you, bro, this build is a two-way demon, bro. Two-way demon on a 7-footer. Look at how I'm just backing this aim. Look, I just backed him down into the paint, and I just dunked at him. You see everyone just flopping? Everyone just going crazy. You guys already know what time it is, bro. That triple threat, go into the post, see what they're gonna do. Everyone's jumping. Double jump from him as well. Didn't even matter, bro. Did not matter. We still hit the contested midi. Like, this build is wild. Look, you're gonna come with some weak layup. I'm telling you, if you're gonna go up, you're gonna have to go up strong. Just similar to how Wemby is in the NBA right now. If you're gonna go up for a dunk, you better go up for a dunk, bro. None of this weak layup. You can see that I'm sending everything back on this build. Okay, you come for a weak layup, that's exactly what's gonna happen to you on this build, bro. It is absolutely wild. Again, this is my favorite build. Snatch block. I can't even speak. Y'all can see this build is going wild, bro. I'm going crazy with this build. We get the rebound right here. Wait for him. Just dunked on his head, bro. We are just dunking on the head. I mean, this build is wild. Like, everything I want in the build, I can have it. This guy, don't come up with no weak layup, bro. We're gonna end it with, look at the way I'm just gonna cut this guy out. We're gonna go into the build after this, but there's just so many moves on this build, bro. Hit him with the dream shake, post fade. Oh yeah, let's go to the builder. I'm gonna show you how I made this build. So here we are in the builder, okay? Like, the build's already been made, okay? We're gonna go straight into it. Power forward. Again, this is very, very key. When it comes to making all these builds, people don't understand, bro. I really had to think about the position I was gonna be best suited for this build. Now, I tried to make a 6'11" small forward. I'm telling you, when it comes to just pure stats, the 7-footer is better than the 6'11". When it comes to getting certain amount of attributes, obviously, you can't get 70 ball handle on a 6'7" foot, for example. You can on a 6'11", but in terms of holding a lot of your attributes, in my opinion, the 7-footer is better than the 6'11". and it's not even close. It's not close in my opinion at all. If you don't believe me, try to replicate these stats on a 611 and you won't even come anywhere near to it. Trust me, I spent a lot of time in the builder. I know, okay? Now, some of the stuff a lot of people have talked to me about in the past about some of my builds is fear your build have low passing, fear your build doesn't have a high enough block, or this and that. Okay, look, I'm a 7-foot build. Now, there is one thing I wish I have a lot more in this build. Is definitely not close shot, nor is it driving layup. Okay, I don't care about none of these two. I don't really do any fancy layups anyway. I don't even use the layup timing, because y'all see what happens to all the people that use the layup time in this build. They grin their layup and I still block it anyway. So yeah, I mean, I get it is OP to a certain extent. The only layups I see that are very, very overpowered, that is very difficult to block, are the floaters, bro. The floaters are just so OP, bro. So yeah, if you're someone that wants to go up for layup, my recommendation is go for floaters, because yeah, they are extremely difficult to block. But yeah, when it comes to drive and dunk, again, I wish, it's probably the only thing I wish on this build, which is like just a little wish, not a lot of a big wish, but I wish I had like an 85 or 86, 87. But then I'm being too greedy. I'm gonna have to sacrifice something. And when I look at the stats right now, I don't want to sacrifice anything on this build at all, okay? But you still get the Giannis dunk, you still get the Dwight Howard, so you're still gonna be fine, okay? The drive and dunk is still gonna be there. You're 7 foot tall. You're still gonna be going crazy. You do have an 85 standing dunk. Bear in mind, this is a power forward build, okay? The centers, they still go crazy, so you still get a lot of contact dunk animations on this, but you even saw that in some of the clips as well. The post control is gonna be an 85, and you guys see, even on my strength, you guys will look at my strength. I will get to the strength in a minute. Even though the strength is only a 74, if you have a high post control, you can back down a lot of people in this game, and people don't attempt to do it. But guess what? You already know me. I'm crazy like that. I'm gonna keep trying it, and it was working, so I kept spamming it. But 85 post control is obviously to give you silver unblockables, so I don't get stripped when I'm trying to dribble or do something crazy. But more importantly, because I have an 86 mid range, it's also gonna give us that post fade phenom on Hall of Fame. So this is a 7-foot build with Hall of Fame post fade phenom, and more importantly, I have an 83 ball in this build. So 83 ball, you should be able to hit consistently. Should be. I say that with an asterisk, because right now 2K is patching all kinds of stuff. Y'all see why your boy be getting mad when I'm missing in the rec? But I'm like, bro, why is 2K making me miss, bro? Like, I've got all the stats to be hitting consistently, and I was hitting consistently in those clips. And then there's certain days I wake up, your boy can't hit nothing. So I just close out, because it's there's no point. If I can't create my own shots on this build, if I can't make those shots, this build's boring. Like, it's not fun to play in. The whole point of this build is to be super aggressive, so you can go crazy when you're making your plays. The other thing that's also going to be underrated about this build is the playmaking of the build. You can see, get that 65 ball handle, which is my recommendation for tall builds that want to have ball handle. Go to 65. It feels good. You're able to get big driver. You can see big driver goes down to silver if you drop that down. So it's very, very important to get that stats. But more importantly, I also get 80 passing on this build, which personally for me, I actually like having a higher pass. Now, you can see when I show you the attributes, I don't have 80 passing just yet, but I do have it on my other point guard builds. And the Aaron Fox's pass style, I love it. It's quick, so I can't wait for me to get 80 passing on this build, because then when guys want to double team in the post, which is what a lot of people end up doing, they try to double team, they try to triple team, I can just find my teammates, I can dot my teammates, I can throw alley-oops. Again, I'm trying to learn to play for the post. Your boy is getting there. Now, the defense, which is, again, being a 7-footer, this is where it stands out. Now, a lot of people have argued, fear, I don't put still on my build, and trust me, I was playing, and you guys saw it when I showed you guys the attributes, my still isn't even up to 60 yet, right? And I ain't gonna lie, no way. I would rather have a 60 still than nothing, bro. Having no still on a build is just absolutely trash. Like, especially for me, you need to understand, I'm a defensive head, right? I see so many passes, and my guy just don't react to it. Like, it just doesn't even reach. I'm like, nah, hell no. So having 60, trust me, is better than having nothing. So if you want to reduce the steal, that's up to you, my guy. Just don't get mad when people start dotting you up, start passing. The perimeter defense, again, you are 7 foot tall. I went for a 68 because it allows me to get that off-ball pest, okay, that silver off-ball pest, just in case sometimes you're sleeping. It makes it very, very difficult for guys just to backdoor or cut on you in general. So yeah, it provides a lot of good defensive options for you. Now, this is where the build really stands out. A lot of people you can argue that you can drop the block down to an 87 and put more attributes elsewhere, and I won't blame you for doing that. But the reason why I went 92 block with this build is simply because I'm already skinny. You need to understand, this is a minimum weight power forward build. A lot of people that I always recommend 87 block to are people that have like a lot of people have 84 strength, which is my recommendation is at least 84 strength. But the way I had to make this build, there was no way for me to make it with 84 strength and still have all these other attributes. It was not possible. So the only way for me to get it done was I had to lower the weight. And because I'm so fast on this is the fastest 7-3 build you can make, by the way, 73 speed. I wanted to be able to utilize that speed a lot. So I feel like I was like, you know what, let me just drop the weight down, drop the strength down to a 74. We still get that, you know, the bronze badges that help out a lot. But I wanted to be quick. I wanted to be able to, you know, guard the perimeter, run to the paint, run back on defense, do, you know, kind of like Wemby right now in the NBA. You know how Wemby can just kind of close the distance very quickly and just send that shot away? That's kind of like how I made this build in terms of just being able to cover a lot of grounds with that speed. So the strength doesn't really matter too much. Again, I don't really play center. I've played center like maybe 2 or 3 times. And guess what? I was still holding my own with center. So I wasn't really struggling too much. But again, I wouldn't, if you make this build at the center position, I will tell you this build is straight trash. Like, I will tell you straight away, this is a trash center build, okay? Because you're not supposed to play center with a 74 strength. You're going to get bullied eventually. Do not make this build at center, okay? There's a reason why I made it at power forward. And you guys already know, if I could make this at small forward, I would have. But again, I couldn't make the 6'11 version of this. I did try. It was impossible, okay? I couldn't make it. But anyways, the offensive and defensive rebound, 85-85. I wanted to have a good balance. You know, I know sometimes I used to go 92 and 80, but I was like, nah, let me just go 85-85. So that way I'm able to grab defensive rebounds, but also I'm able to grab offensive rebounds. And surprisingly, I am snagging like crazy on this build. You also some of the clips too. Like, I be jumping like, I don't know, because of the height or something. You get 80 vertical, 99 stamina. Yes, you can drop just down to a 95. I don't blame you for doing so. But again, because I'm going to be everywhere, I'm an active defender. I wanted the most stamina possible, so I don't lose too much stamina trying to run around backing people down into the post. Some of these guys have brick wall, so they're draining your stamina as you're backing them down. So I wanted to make sure, you know, I cover everything as much as I could. But yeah, this is the build. This is my favorite build I've made this year. I played on all my builds, and yes, I mean, I just think being a 7-footer, being this unique, that's why I really like this build, okay? This is my favorite build. Before you guys ask me, you know, I know people are going to compare this build to my other 7-footer. They are very different. They're very, very different play style. You can't compare them, okay? You can't say one is better than the other because they have very different requirements, you feel me? Like, so it's like, if I want to play certain comp teams, for example, I'll probably might use my other 7-foot build, because the one thing I forgot to mention is having a 74 strength, your screens are basically trash. Your screens are trash, because when I made that 96 strength build, I've made 90 strength build, 84 strength build. The biggest difference I noticed is your ability to set screens, bro. So bronze brick wall ain't gonna do it, especially when you're going up against a lockdown. So yeah, this is not a build that's supposed to be setting tons of screens or whatever. I'm just supposed to be in the corner at the top and just straight up cook anyone that I get. And you guys already know how these, you know, teams are anyway. When you play a lot of these competitive guys, they put their small guards in the corner, and that's gonna be the biggest mistake. Because if you put some little midget on me in the corner, I'm gonna find that so disrespectful, and I'm gonna drop 50 on him unless the team adjusts to something. But anyways, this is the build, okay? Been going crazy on it. It's my favorite build so far, no questions asked. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you in the next one.